Yeah, hello everyone, good morning. Myself Muralidhar Reddy, I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about what is AWS EKS, what are the benefits of using AWS EKS. One by one we can discuss. Okay. And first one, what is EKS? EKS is nothing but AWS Kubernetes service, Elastic Kubernetes service. It is the AWS managed service that simplifies running Kubernetes on AWS without installing, without needing to install and operate your own Kubernetes control plane or worker nodes. Remember, guys, here, if you use the AWS EKS, right, this particular AWS EKS control plane will be taken care by AWS team. You don't want to install, you don't want to manage your control plane, everything taken care by AWS team only. Just we need to be taking care of the worker nodes. Okay. And here EKS provides a high available and secure and scalable Kubernetes environment for applications. Okay. It will maintain the high availability, secure wise, and scalability also. Okay. There are different types of key features available in AWS EKS. Okay. One is managed Kubernetes controller. As I said, right, AWS managing the Kubernetes controller. So including the whatever components is available inside that control plane, right? It means like a kube-API server, etcd, scheduler, okay? Some other components it will be taken care by AWS team only. We don't want to worry on that one, okay? And that ensure high availability and scalability without the operational overhead. And also one more thing, guys, this AWS EKS team, right? They will be maintain the high availability. They will be maintain the high availability only. And integrate with integration with AWS services. Okay, we can also integrate with various AWS services such as IAM for security purpose and CloudWatch for monitoring and AWS load balancer for load balancing and simplifying the management of Kubernetes applications. We can also integrate with other inside the AWS services. We can integrate. Okay, fine. And also security and compliance related. And EKS offers robust security features, including VPC isolation and IAM roles for service account and integration with AWS KMS. Okay, for secrets encryption purpose. Okay, this is the security and compliance. Also, you can integrate with AWS KMS as well. Okay. For a secrets encryption purpose, we can use that one. Okay. And also next one is scalability and performance wise. EKS support the scaling both control plane worker nodes seamlessly. Okay. This control plane, we don't want to worry. Again, I'm telling, we don't want to worry on that control plane. We need to be taking care only worker nodes only. Okay. It is allows for automatic scaling of applications with the Kubernetes built-in horizontal pod autoscaler. Using this horizontal pod autoscaler, right, we can able to scale up or scale down based on the particular load. Okay. I mean, if you CPU utilization utilizing 50% of the particular pod, right? If you want to create another pod, you can define everything inside the horizontal pod autoscaler only. Okay. And high availability. EKS runs the Kubernetes control plane across multiple available zone. Okay. You may not be see where exactly it will be running everything. When you create the EKS cluster, right, you will be select that multiple available zones so that AWS team, they will be backend, they will be maintain the high availability. Okay, we don't want to worry on that one. Even if some issue happen, right, you can directly raise the ticket with AWS team. They will be verify backend, and then what exactly issue they can fix it. Okay, we don't want to worry on that specific master node one. Master node or control plane, both are same only. Okay, and coming to the flexibility, this particular AWS EKS, right, it is supporting various of Kubernetes add-ons. Example, AWS VPC CNA plugin for networking purpose, and also it is compatible with the existing Kubernetes tools and applications. It will be supporting existing Kubernetes tools and applications. It will be supporting, and also add-ons also supporting. Okay, understand, right? There are a lot of benefits of using AWS EKS. One is easy of use. We can just EKS simplify the process of running the Kubernetes on AWS. So just we can create it, and then we can create that cluster. Okay, and also that particular control plane is managed by AWS team, right? We don't want to worry. Just we will be focusing on worker nodes, and also developers, right? They will be write that particular code, and they will be deploying Kubernetes rather than managing the infrastructure. Usually, right, that particular infrastructure will be taking care. It means the DevOps team, DevOps or CloudOps or SRE team will be taking care. Okay, remember, guys. Okay, but the thing is, we don't want to worry on that particular master node components. Okay, and cost efficiency. When compared to with the EKS, right? We will be pay as you go model only. It means like how many worker nodes you are using. Okay, depends on that one. You will be, and also EKS cluster, which cluster you have created. Hourly basis it will be charged. And compared to self-managed Kubernetes cluster, right? It is the cost wise also little bit low. This can be more cost effective compared to that particular self-managed one. Okay, understand that? We don't require to, and also considering the reduced operational overhead as well if you use that AWS EKS. Okay, especially for master node, right? That is the main advantage of using AWS EKS. We don't want to much worry on that. And reliability, leveraging AWS global infrastructure, EKS provide the reliable environment for running production-grade Kubernetes workloads and ensuring minimal downtime and robust performance wise as well. Okay, understand that these are one of the benefits of using AWS EKS. Okay, one is easy of use, cost efficiency, and reliability. And there are other benefits also. One more benefit is security. EKS provide the multiple layers of security, including network isolation and IAM policies, and integrate with AWS security services, and also ensure that your applications are secure. Okay, ensure that your applications are more secure. And also community and ecosystem. As I said, like Kubernetes is an open source project, right? So EKS benefits from large and active community, offering a wealth of services, tools, and also extension to enhance your Kubernetes experience. Remember, especially when you get any issue related to AWS EKS, right? We can directly reach out to AWS team. We don't want to worry, because majority of the organization, they may have business related account. Then we can directly raise the ticket with them. We can take the help from them. But in case if you install standalone servers, right, you have to be taking care. No one will help you. Okay, understand that? Except your team. Seamless integration, and we can also EKS integrate seamlessly with other AWS services, allowing you to take advantage of AWS comprehensive suite for the particular services. Okay, remember guys, if you want to be integrated with other one, this particular EKS cluster, if you want to be access with, interact access with AWS services, right? Well, there are one way is like one of the ways we can use IRSA. IRSA is nothing but IAM role for service account. Okay, using that one also we can do that one. Okay, we saw that benefits as well, right? Understand? Any question? And also you can go to the AWS account, you will get some idea. This is the AWS account. Here you can see here AWS. You can type it here EKS. Here you can get it Kubernetes, Elastic Kubernetes service. Here we can see that this Kubernetes, right? This is the name specific region level. It means like when you create the EKS cluster in North Virginia, you can able to see only specific region level only. Okay. Now here you can create the cluster, and here you have to give the cluster name here. As I said, like here Kubernetes version, the latest version is 1.31. Okay. Latest version is 1.31. But in real time, right, we will be using this specific version, either 1.30 or 1.29. But here you have to remember this end of support, standard support, and also extension support dates also mentioned here. Depends on that one, we will be upgrade one by one version. Okay, default it will be support 14 months. Okay, standard one. In case if you require extension, right, they will be support 12 months extra. It means like total 26 months. But this 12 months, right, we have to pay extra charges. Hourly basis, they will be charged. That's why in organization level, what they will do, right? They have to be saved some cost, right? That's why every 3 months or 6 months once, right, they will be upgrade the EKS cluster. They will be upgrade the EKS cluster. Understand, right? Any question? This is the AWS EKS. What exactly AWS EKS? What are the benefits and what are the key features providing AWS EKS? Again, I'm telling majority of the organization, if they using AWS, right? If they want to use any containerization of container orchestration tool, right, they will be use the AWS EKS only. Okay, the reason is, right, the main advantage of using AWS EKS, we don't want to worry on that particular control plane managing. Okay, master node or control plane, both are same. Okay, we don't want to worry. Everything will be taken care by AWS team only. What we will do, right, we have to be taking care of the worker nodes, what type of instance, what are the size you required, everything we need to be taking care, and also we need to be managing how many instances you need to maintain, create. Everything will be we'll be taking care. We don't want to worry on that master node. The reason I'm telling, right, in the master node there are multiple components, right? Example, etcd mini database. If you install standalone servers, right, you have to be taking care. If something happened that etcd, we will be lost a lot of things. The reason is whatever configuration, if you are applying anything, it will be stored it in etcd only. Okay, we have to be careful when you are installing that in on-prem servers. And one more thing, just FYI guys, in case some organizations, right, especially banking domains, what they will do, right, they don't want to deploy in they don't want to create the EKS cluster, they don't want to create the Kubernetes in AWS. It means they won't use AWS EKS. The reason is they wanted to maintain that cluster also their own on-prem only. If that is the case, they will be create either using KubeADM, COPS, using that, they will be create the cluster and they will be managing it. But 99% of the organizations, right, they will be use the cloud related container orchestration tool only, that is AWS EKS, Azure GKE, Azure AKS, Google Cloud GKE. Okay, depends on that one. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Any question? Later part, I will show you how to create a EKS cluster as well. This is the theory part only. Okay, any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about creation of AWS EKS cluster. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So for that one, right, we have a GitHub repo. Okay, Techol with Mulli AWS 0 to hero. Here day 19, I have written step-by-step process. Okay, first what you have to do, right? We need one user. The username is Mule, and then we have to provide the admin credentials. Instead of creating the administrator, root account, I'm creating one user, so that from that user, right, we will be create the EKS cluster. Okay. Currently I'm in root account. Okay, and go to here, and then first we need to create the user. Okay. Now, if you see here, go to the IAM. Here we have a IAM. Click that IAM, and then left side we have users. Currently, we have 2 users. Currently, we need to create the user. What is the username? The username is Mule. Okay, and then click the provide user, and then here I want to create a user. Okay, and then come down. Here I am giving my customized password. Okay, give it, and then you can uncheck this one, click the next button. Here attach policies, I'm giving the administrator permissions. If you see here, admin privileges. Okay, now click the next button, and then here I'm giving the name name Mule. Okay, and then create a user. Now we are creating the user, right? When you create the user, this is the console user URL, and then username is Mule, password I have given. Okay, fine. Now what I'm doing, right? If you want, you can download it. Okay, or else you can return to the user list. Click this and continue. Now you can able to see this particular user, and we have provided the admin privileges. If you see here we have admin privileges. Okay, step 1 is completed, right? And coming to the step 2, we need to log into this using this Mule user. Okay, we need to log in that account. Okay, for that one, right, what you have to do, just copy this one. Okay, or else go to Chrome and you can type it here. Imagine management console. Type it this, and here right side we have a sign in the console. Okay, here basically it will come like this. Whether you want to connect root user or IAM user, select the IAM user. Here it is asking the account number. So account number, what is the account number? Yeah, copy this account number. Okay, and you can paste it here and click next. Okay, next here it is asking the username. You can give the username is Mule. I'm entering the password. Okay, now if you see here, I'm able to log into that particular account using Mule user, and also you can see it here. Username is Mule. Okay, I'm in North Virginia. Okay, we are going to create that particular account is EKS cluster in North Virginia. Again, remember guys, EKS is region specific. Okay, we are creating in North Virginia. Okay, understand, right? Any questions now? Fine. What is the next step? Step 2 is completed, and coming to that here, create a VPC and with 2 public subnets. We already created dev VPC. Go to the VPC. Okay, go to the VPC, and then here, if you observe here in North Virginia, we already created the dev VPC. Okay, go to the your VPCs, and then if you see here, dev VPC already created, and also we have created a subnets as well, pub private app data subnets. If you are not aware this, how do we create the VPC? Please have a look our VPC concept so that you'll get some idea. Okay, fine. Now, as I mentioned here, right, we record two public subnets. Remember, guys, for practice purpose, we can choose two public subnets, but in real time, right, whenever you are creating the EKS, we have to create in app subnets. Okay, app subnets is nothing but indirectly it is a private subnets only. Okay, but for practice purpose, we need to connect that particular cluster, right? We have to create in public subnets so that you can connect the EKS cluster without client VPN or Cisco VPN. Okay, some other VPNs. Okay, understand that? This part is complete, right? We have a dev VPC, and also we have a created a public subnet. If you see here, dev public 1A, 1B. Okay, understand that? 1A, 1B we have created. Now what you have to do, right? What is the next step? Create a key pair. The key pair we need to create, the key pair name is dev key pair. Okay, for that one, right? Go to here, go to EC2. Okay, go to EC2, and then left side we have a key paste. Click this key paste, and here we have option create a key pair. Click this create a key pair, and you can give it here dev. Okay, and here key pair type is RSA only, and here you have to download PEM file so that you can connect either SSH or either you can connect using putty. Okay, best option always choose the PEM file. Okay, fine. If you select the PPK, right, it should be work only for connecting to putty. You can't connect using SSH command. Okay, that's why we always recommend it to choose the PEM. Fine. Now you can give it here dev. Okay, now create a key pair. Once you create, right, it will be downloaded here. Now you can see it here. It is downloaded. Fine. Now we have downloaded that particular key pair. Now what you have to do, right? What is the next step? Next step is we have to create the cluster role. Why we need to create the cluster role? When you create the EKS cluster, it will expecting to it will expect the particular role. That's why we have to create the EKS cluster role, IAM role. Okay. For that one, right, we are going to give the dev cluster role. We have to attach this particular EKS cluster policy. Okay, EKS cluster policy. For that one, right, go to that IAM. Okay, go to that IAM here. Once go to this IAM, right, go to roles, create a role. Here it is asking the AWS. Okay, fine. Go up here. Okay, now here you have to select the EKS. Okay, select the EKS, and here very most important, you can select the EKS cluster. Okay, then click the next, and here when you select the EKS cluster, right, by default it will attach this particular Amazon EKS cluster policy only. That is fine, we don't require to attach anything. Okay, inside this particular EKS cluster policy, right, it contains all the policies related to EKS, whatever required for that. Example, easy to create a tag, values, delete route, everything. Okay, click the next button. And here it is asking the name. Which name we are going to give it? We are going to give this dev-cluster role. We are giving dev-cluster role. Okay. And then come down. If you see here, trusted entities, it is the EKS because we selected EKS, right? That's why. And here you can see the specific policy, whatever we attached. Now go to here and give it that particular name, dev-cluster role, and you can create the particular role. Okay. Now you can search it here. The role name is dev-cluster. Click that one. Here you can see that whatever we attach the policy, Amazon EKS cluster policy. Okay, clear, right? Now what you have to do? And now we have to create the EKS cluster. Now we have to create the EKS cluster. For that one, right? We are giving the dev-cluster. What we are giving? We are giving dev-cluster. For that one, right? Go to EKS. Okay, go to EKS. Okay, here you can see that Elastic Kubernetes service. Okay, click this one. Now here in left side, we have a clusters. Click this clusters. Currently, we don't have any clusters. Create a cluster or add a cluster, create. And then here it is asking the name of the cluster. Let's take example. For dev, we are creating. We can give like this, dev-cluster. Sorry, what we can give that? Dev-cluster. cluster. We can give the dev cluster, q cluster, okay, prod cluster, depends on. You can give any name. In real time, right, we can maintain like environment some name, example cluster, okay. Now here, cluster service role, right, you have to give this particular role. Whatever we created earlier, right, dev cluster role, we have to use this one. Why do we require this one? This select IAM role to allow Kubernetes control plane to manage the AWS resource on behalf of. Okay, for that one, right, we require that particular cluster role. Okay, now here we most important thing, Kubernetes version. Current latest version is 1.30. This is the latest version is 1.30, but usually in real time, right, one less version will be use it. It means like 1.29 will be use it. Currently, I have selected 1.29. If you observe here, when I select the 1.29, end of standard support is March 23, 2025. It means like after March 23, 2025, you have to upgrade to, before that, you have to upgrade to 1.30. Okay. And also you can see that end of extended support. It means like, let's take example, your cluster in 1.29, March 2023, 2025 reached. Okay. If you want, you can extend the support, but they will be charged extra. Okay. For that one, even if we extend the support, right, maximum we can maintain March 23, 2026 only. Okay, here you have to select whether you want to be extend, whether you want to be standard. If you select the standard, right, after you reach March 23, 2025, if you're not upgrade your EKS version, right, automatically it will be upgrade to next version. If you see here, the cluster will be auto upgrade to the next version. So that is the reason in real time, right, we always monitoring the EKS clusters when it will be standard support extend. If you want to be extend the support, we can raise the ticket with AWS team and we can extend it. Okay, we can do that one. Earlier, right, it was not this policy, but current recent days, right, instead of raising the ticket with AWS team, right, we have an option from our end. We can directly extend our policy. I mean, whether you want to be extend this particular one. If you extend this one, right, what will happen, right? Next 26 months it will be. Remember, if any EKS cluster new version will come, right, it will be 14 months, it will be support. Okay, it will be 14 months by default. Okay, after the release date, right, it will be 14 months free of, I mean, it won't be charged anything. If you're not extending, it will be auto upgrade. If you select the extend option, again, next to 12 months, it will be give it. Okay, but it will be extra charge. Remember, guys, it will be extra charge, additional hours cost. Remember this thing. Okay, fine. Here, cluster access, I'm selecting allow cluster administrator access on both EKS AP and also EKS config. I'm giving allow cluster administrator access. Okay, you can select this one only. It is fine. And coming to this one, secrets encryption. If you want to be encrypt your EKS cluster, you can encrypt using KMS. Okay, using KMS, you can encrypt it. Example, we have a KMS, that is dev-EBS. If you want, you can select this one. Okay, fine. If you want, you can create a new one and you can encrypt it. Okay, depends on use cases in real time, right? We may encrypt our EKS cluster or not. That is depends. Okay, once you encrypted, right, you can't be modified or removed. So be careful whether you want to be encrypted or not. Currently, I'm not encrypting. You can ignore that one. And then I'm giving here name dev-cluster. Okay, dev cluster. Now you can click this one, click the next button. And here, most important, where you want to be create your cluster, which VPC you want to be create your cluster. If you see here, I have selected dev-VPC. Currently, we have dev-VPC. Okay, if you have a dev QA UAT prod, you have to select the specific VPC. Don't create default VPC. And one more thing, guys, don't tell them like in the interview level, we are created a EKS cluster in default VPC. If you say like that one, right, they can easily identify, okay, this guy is not work real time. Just he prepared and he's trying to get the job. Okay, be careful. We always select the specific VPC only. Okay, example, we are creating for dev VPC. Okay, here most important thing, if you select the dev VPC, right, whatever subnets we have, everything we have selected, just clear this one. Now here you have to select the specific subnets. In real time, usually we'll select the app subnet. Usually in real time, we'll be select the app subnet. But if you select the app subnet, right, you can't be connect your cluster. That's why I'm selecting the public subnet for practice purpose. In real time, right, if interview level, if they ask the question, where your EKS cluster created, which subnets, you have to tell that, you can tell them we created in app subnet. Okay, why do we create app subnet? Usually EKS cluster will be deployed applications, right? That's why we are segregating a separate subnet. That's why we created app subnet, and we are creating that EKS cluster in app subnet only. Okay, you have to tell them like that. Okay, but practice purpose, we are creating in public subnet. Don't tell them we created a public subnet. If you tell them like, they can easy to identify, okay, this guy is not working real time. Okay, remember guys, why I'm this type of things repeating? Majority of the students doing the mistakes in interview level, they are saying like we are creating a public subnet. If you say them, so okay, not really work in real time. Okay, and coming to the security group, if you want, you can create a security group. I'm selecting the default security group. Okay, remember, once we create the EKS cluster, right, default it will be create the EKS cluster, also it will create the security group as well. I will show you that one example. I have selected the default security group. Okay, now here if you choose it here, right, whether what type of, whether it is IPv4 and IPv6. Remember, 99.99% of the organizations is using only IPv4. So far, no one will be very rarely using the IPv6. Okay, fine. You can select if you want to be give it specific CIDR range for this particular Kubernetes service IP. You can give it, otherwise it will be generate the unique number. Okay, fine. Now you can see it here, cluster endpoint access. This is the one of the most important, whether you really work or not, they can easy to identify. There are multiple options, public, public and private, private. If you give it public, right, anyone can access from anywhere. Example, I can access from my laptop back in US guy, also access from US guy without client VPN. If you select public and private, right, it will access both. But if you select the private, right, it will be accessed only within the VPC. It means like you have to connect the client VPN and then you have to access it. You have to access it. Okay, understand that? Clear, right? But in real time, we always keep private only. But practice purpose, we'll keep it public because we don't have any client VPN. That's why we'll be select the public only. Here you have to remember, in interview level, they will ask the question, hey Murli, where your cluster will be created, which endpoint it is created, whether it is public or public and private. You have to tell them like we created a private subnet, private endpoint. Okay, and then when you are connecting that, we will be use the client VPN to connect it. Okay, understand that? If we say like, remember again telling, if we say like we created a public subnet, public endpoint, they can easy to identify, guys. You didn't work on real time. Okay, fine. Now you can click the next button. Here it is asking observability. If you want to be enabling any observability, Prometheus, some other things, you can do that one. Currently, we don't require. Here, most important thing, if you want to be enabling any logging for that control plane. Okay, control plane is nothing but master node. Okay, whether you want to be enabling API server logs, whether you want to be enabling audit logs, whether you want to be enabling authenticator logs, controller manager logs, scheduler logs, whatever you want, you can enabling it. Whatever you are enabling this one, right, it will be stored in CloudWatch only. Example, I have enabled all the things, but when it comes to the real time, right, especially we will be enabling audit logs only. Okay, that too depends on use cases. Okay, in dev QA UAT it may not be, but when it comes to the production, we will be enabling this one. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Now we can click the next button. Now here, very most important thing, when you create the EKS cluster, right, it will be create a core DNS, core proxy, and Amazon CNI. These three are mandatory. This recently came Amazon EKS pod identity agent. You can uncheck it. We don't require. When it comes to the core DNS, right, enable service discovery within your cluster. If you see here, category is network info. Okay, and come to the Q proxy, right? It is enable service networking within your cluster. Within our cluster, networking related, it will be enabling. Okay, this is also networking part. When it comes to the Amazon VPC CNI, right? Okay, it will be enable pod networking within your cluster. How it needs to be communicate pod, right? This VPC CNI will be taking care. Okay, that particular category is networking. These three we have to be installed. Okay, depends on remaining. Also, we have like Amazon EKS pod, and also we have a God duty as well. We don't require, we won't be installed. We don't much required as well. Okay, understand that? You can click the next button. Okay, whatever we selected, right? Core DNS, Q proxy, and also we have Amazon CNI, right? VPC CNI. Here we have options. what type of version you have to use it. Here we have a latest version also. Usually we will recommend to use default current version. Okay. We will be we frequently suggested to use the current and default only. We don't require to use the latest one. Okay, fine. Remember one thing, if any of this one, core DNS or proxy, Amazon VPS doesn't work, right? It may not be place the pods and it may not be work the particular application parts. So we have to be careful. These three mandatory needs to be run it. Okay, and understand that, and then click the next button. Now, if you see here, step one, the cluster related configuration, and here you can see that step two, networking related, where you are creating that one. And also we have selected the default security group. Usually in real time, we won't be use the default one. We will create a separate security group. Okay, and also you can see it here, API server endpoint, whether it is public or private or public and private. If it is public, right, it is 0.0. But in real time, we won't be create public. Okay, and also you can see it here, control plane logging. You can see whether you enabling the logs or not. You can see it here, and also you can see the add-ons. Whatever we enable the add-ons, you can see it ready to install it. Okay, and also you can see the versions. What are the specific core DNS versions? Whatever we have, right? You can see it here. Okay, depends on use cases. We can change this particular version. Okay, fine. Now you can create a version. Okay, create a EKS cluster. Once you create a EKS cluster, right? It will take 10 to 15 minutes. Remember, guys, it will take 10 to 15 minutes to create fully the particular EKS cluster. We have to wait for that particular time. Okay, let's wait for 10 minutes. Yeah, now EKS cluster is created. It took 8 minutes. Okay, fine. Now if you see here, it is created the cluster, and if you see a cluster name active, what is the version? Okay, and also we have option to upgrade the new version as well, latest version we have. Okay, and also you can see the supported period, and also we have extended one. What is the when it was created, and what is the provider EKS only. Okay, now we can see the step by step inside. Okay, Dev cluster. Okay. And also here it is giving end of standard support is March 23, 2025. Okay. And before that one, you have to be upgrade to the EKS cluster, or you can extend the version support period so that it will be additional charges. Okay. Fine. Now we can see it here status, what is the version, supported period, provider EKS, and also you can see the overview. This is the API server endpoint. This is the EKS endpoint. Okay. And also we can see it here, certificate authority, and also you can see the OpenID connector provider URL. Using this one, we can set up IRSA. Okay. IAM roles for service account. And also you can see the cluster IAM role ARN. And also you can, when it was created, what is the cluster ARN? This is the cluster IAM role ARN. This is the cluster ARN. Both are different. Okay. And also you can see the platform version as well. Inside this particular 1.29, right? This is the platform version EKS.11. Okay. It means patching version. Okay. Fine. And also you can see it here. Kubernetes version setting, whether we choose standard one or extended one. We have selected the extended one, and also we can see the health issues. If any issues, cluster related issues, right? You can see it here. Okay. And also you can see the secret encryption. If you want, you can enable this one specifically. Okay. That KMS. Once you enabling it, right, you can't modify or delete. Be careful on that one. Okay. Fine. Now what you have to do, go to the resources. Here you can see all the information, like how many pods we have, pod templates, replicas, deployments. Without connecting EKS cluster using CLI, you can directly come to EKS, AWS console, and go to the EKS and resources. You can see all the namespaces, whatever we have, namespaces, everything. Okay. When you create the EKS cluster, default it will create the 4 namespaces. One is default namespace, cube-node-lease, and cube-public, cube-system namespace. Okay, fine. And also you can see the deployment daemon set if you have anything. And also you can see the clusters, nodes. How many nodes we have? Currently we don't have, right? That's why we are not able to see it. When you go to with the namespace, right, you can see it here, all the namespaces. Whatever we have namespace, everything we have total 4 namespaces. Okay, once we deploy any application, we can verify here also. Instead of logging to the EKS cluster using CLI, we can come here and we can do check it here as well. Example, if we check the default namespace, right, it will give all the information, whatever we have here, everything it will be give it. Okay, understand that? Fine. And when it comes to the computer, right, compute is nothing but in this particular EKS cluster, how many instances we have attached. Okay, currently we don't have any worker nodes, either nodes or either node group, whatever we created, we don't have. And also we have a fargate profiles as well. If you want, you can add it. Fargate profile very rarely will be used. We'll be used either managed one, EKS managed one, or customer managed one. It means like we can create our own node groups. Okay, fine, right? Currently, I will show you later part how do we create the nodes and attach to this particular EKS cluster, so that you will get some idea. And here networking, you can see it here where which VPC, which subnets, and also whether it is IPv4 or IPv6, and also as I said, right, service IP range, it will be assigned to specific IP. Okay, and also you can see it here which subnet it is launched, and also you can see it here. This is our cluster security group. When you create the EKS cluster, right, it will create the one security group. The security group name like this: EKS-cluster-sg-dev-cluster, and then it will be generate one ID. Okay, account ID or something. Okay, fine. Now you can check it here, and this is the security group, and you can see it here all traffic to this particular same security group only. Outbound it is all traffic. Okay, in default it will be create that one. Okay, understand, right? And also you can see the add-ons. Now here you can see the whatever we install the add-ons, right? It is still in creating because not yet we have attached the particular nodes, right? That's why it's showing the still creating state only. Here you can see that one Amazon VPC CNI, what is the version? Okay, and also you can see that a kube proxy, code DNS, everything it will be created. You may ask question, why only it's still showing the creating state? Because we create the EKS cluster, okay, but we haven't attached the worker nodes. Okay, this particular whatever this add-ons, right, it will be placed in pods, it will be placed in nodes only. That's why it is showing still throwing there, like I mean showcasing here, like creating only. Okay, coming to the access part, and you can see the access configuration, what type of EKS API and config map we gave, all permissions, and also you can see it here. IAM access entries is the IAM user, which user it is created. You can see it here as well. Okay, if you want to give other users as well, you can give it here. Okay, whatever. Okay, now you can come down, and here pod identity associations, we haven't done anything. We haven't created any OIDC identity provider. If you create anything, right, you can see it here as well. Currently, we haven't done anything. And coming to the observability, if you enabling a Prometheus metrics, you can see it here. Currently, we haven't done, right. That's why it is not showing here anything. And coming to the upgrade insights, you can see it here. If you have any upgrade insights, what is happening, everything can able to see it here information. Update history, right? Here you can see the update. If you let's take example, you have upgraded from 1.29 to 1.230. In case if you have changed from public to private, that particular endpoint, everything you can see it here, update history as well. Okay, you can see the tags as well. Here you can see the specific tags. Okay, and also you have an option to delete this particular cluster. Okay, you can give the dev cluster, you can delete it. And once you delete, right, you can't revert back. And also if you want to be upgrade, you can upgrade the specific version. This is the one of the most important question in interview level. Hey Murli, we have an example, we have a 1.28 EKS cluster. Shall I upgrade directly to 1.30? No. Remember, in EKS, right, at a time one version can be upgraded. We don't have any option to upgrade directly 1.28 to 1.30. Okay, you can't jump it. You can upgrade only at a time one version only. Remember, this is the one of the most important. Really, you worked or not, they can easily identify. In EKS, whether you export or not, they can easily identify asking this question. Hey Murli, again I'm repeating. Hey Murli, we have EKS 1.28 version. We need to upgrade to 1.30. How do we do? If we say like, hey Murli, hey Suresh, we can directly upgrade from 1.28 to 1.30. If you say like that, okay, this guy is not aware of upgrade process. Remember, EKS version, we can upgrade one version at a time. It means 1.28 to 1.29, then 1.29 to 1.30. Okay, clear, right? Any questions here? Okay. And one more thing, once you upgrade, right, you don't have any revert back option. This is also one of the most important question into level. Okay, let's take example. I have upgraded from 1.19 to 1.30. Okay, there was some issue with 1.30. Is it possible to revert back 1.29? No. In EKS, we don't have any option. That's why before applying the dev QA UAT prod, right, first we will do the POC, then we will be upgrading, we will do the upgrade process. In some issue with EKS cluster level, right? A master node will be raise the ticket with AWS team. AWS EKS team, they can verify from their end. Also, they can help us like what was the exact issue, what we can do the next step, everything they can help us. Okay, remember guys, this is one of the thing. I hope understand it. How do we create the EKS cluster and also see that what are the options we have. Okay, everything we discussed. Okay, any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about adding worker nodes to the EKS cluster. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. So we already created EKS cluster, right? The cluster name is dev-cluster, if you remember. Okay. Now what we have to do, right? For this cluster, we will be add that join the particular worker nodes. Okay. For that one, we have already steps written in GitHub as well. Step 5 we completed. Now we need to go with step 6. Before adding that particular worker nodes to the EKS cluster, we required IAM role. For that one, right, we will create the one IAM role. The role name is we are giving dev-cluster because this is the dev cluster, right? And we are giving worker node role. Okay. And then in this particular role, we need to attach these 3 policies. One is Amazon EKS worker node policy. Second one is Amazon EC2 container registry policy, read-only policy, and Amazon EKS CNA policy. We have to attach these 3 policies. So first go with IAM, and here we see that roles, click the role and create a role. And then here you have to select the AWS service, and then come down here use cases, you have to select the EC2. Remember, worker node is nothing but EC2 only, just select this particular one. Okay. And here you have to select the EC2 and then click the next. Here you have to select the permissions. Okay. Here we have 3 permissions, right? Policies, right? Copy this first policy and paste it here and select and copy the Amazon EC2 content register read only. Okay, second one, and the third one is Amazon EKS CNA policy. Okay, select this one. Now you have selected 3 policies, click the next, and here you have to give the role name. The role name is this one. Okay, dev cluster worker node role. Okay, now you can give this. Now you can come down here, you can see that trusted entities, assume role, and also EC2. And here you can see the policies as well. Total we have 3 policies. And the tag, you can add the tags as well. Name, and you give it dev-cluster worker node role. Okay. Now you can create the role. If you observe here, now we have created the specific role. The role name is dev-cluster worker node role. Okay. And also we have attached the 3 policies. If you observe here we can see that 3 policies. Okay, done, right? What is the next step? Step 6 is completed. Now step 7 is we need to create the node group. Okay, we are giving the node group name. Node group name is dev-cluster worker node. Okay, fine. For that one, right, select the specific cluster. Go to the compute. Here you have to select the add node group. Select this one, and here you have to give the name of that particular node group. I'm giving the node group name is dev-cluster worker node. Okay, dev-cluster worker node, and here you have to select your node group IAM role. We already created this one, right, earlier. That one you have to select. If you have multiple, right, just you have to search with that particular name so that it will be displayed here. Then select here. Okay, fine. Now what you have to do here, when you are adding worker nodes to the EKS cluster, there are 2 ways. One is using launch template. If you have any existing launch template, you can attach that, so that it will be use that particular launch template to launch the EC2 instances. I mean to worker nodes and attach to the EKS cluster. Okay. Second option is you can directly here only. I will show you later here. You can directly select that particular AMI type, on-demand, instance type, disk size, everything we can select here. Now depends on use cases, right? In real time, we always choose this one only. Okay, we always choose launch template only. We will be create one launch template and we will be attach it. When we are creating the launch template, right, you have to select the AWS EKS AMI related Amazon Linux 2 1. Don't select normal Amazon Linux 2 or normal Amazon Linux 2023. It won't be work for to add joining that particular worker nodes to the EKS cluster. So for EKS related AMIs, right, different, go to the Google. Okay, here you can type it like Amazon EKS AMI release. Okay. Now here you can see it here, right? Releases, right? Just click this releases. Okay, in this particular GitHub, right? AWS labs / Amazon EKS AMI. Here you can see the specific AMI images for each and every cluster. If you see here, Kubernetes 1.30, 1.29, 1.28, everything, right? You can see it 1.29. Here you have a AMI names as well. Okay. Now what you have to do, right? Depends on your use cases. Currently, most of the organizations are using Amazon Linux to AWS EKS AMIs. That's why you have to choose this one. In case if we are using Amazon Linux 2023, right? You have to choose this one. Okay, depends on use cases. We have to choose either this one or this one. Okay, remember guys. Okay, now what you have to do, right? You have to take this name and you have to, whenever you are creating launch template, right? You have to choose specific AMI. Okay, don't select normal Amazon Linux or normal Amazon Linux 2023. Again, I am telling it won't work. You have to choose the specific related to AWS EKS AMIs. Okay, fine. Now I'm not selecting launch template. I will be choose directly, from console, so that you will get some idea. Okay, fine. Here you can see that Kubernetes labels as well. If you want to be add any labels, you can add it here. And also Kubernetes, if you want to be add any condition based on condition, if you select here, right, whether you want to be place the specific parts to the specific node, we can use the Kubernetes tense. We can discuss more on this topic Kubernetes related Kubernetes course, so that you will get some idea. Currently, we don't record anything. And go to the tags, right? Here I'm giving name is same, dev cluster worker node. And click the next. And here most important, here it is expecting the AMI. What type of AMI you want to choose? You may ask question. If you observe here, select EKS, select EKS. Okay, EKS optimized AMIs for nodes. Okay, and here you have to select which AMI, whether you want to select Amazon Linux 2, or you want to choose Windows Amazon Linux 2023. Okay, usually in real times, currently majority of the organizations are using Amazon Linux 2 only. That's why I'm selecting the Amazon Linux 2. Select this one. Here capacity type, whether you want to go with on demand or spot. In real time, we always go with on demand only. Select the on demand. Okay. And here instance type, what type of instance you want to be attached. Whenever creating the worker node, right, what type of instance you want to attach. Okay, for that one, right, we are using t2.micro. We are using t2.micro. Okay, t2.micro. But in real time, right, don't tell them like we are using t2.micro. If you tell them, right, they can easily identify, okay, this guy is just practice and trying to get the job. Okay, in real time, we won't use t2.micro. We'll be use t2.large, R5, M5. Depends on use cases, we'll be use it. Okay, fine. Here also discuss it. I'm giving that 50 GB. Each worker node, right, it will be assigned the 50 GB root value. Okay, clear, right? Any questions now? Now coming to the node group scaling configuration. Here desired size, minimum size, maximum size. If you remember in auto scaling group, we have options, right? Min is nothing but always it will maintain the minimum EC2 instances. Minimum worker nodes it will be maintained. Minimum 2. And desired is nothing but currently how many instances running. Okay. Maximum is nothing but up to how many instances we can increase. Now what I'm doing here, right? I'm giving that the maximum size is 5 nodes and desired is 3, minimum is 2. Okay, depends on, minimum, if there is no any load, right, it will be always maintain that 2. If you have any load in that particular worker nodes, right, and that particular Kubernetes application deploy, right, so it will be currently 3 and up to 5 it will be increased. Okay, depends on we are using cluster autoscaler, some other things. Okay, fine. Now coming to the node group update configuration, right, here maximum unavailable. If you are doing any node group version update, so how you want to be do? Okay, at a time only one, or you wanted to give any specific percentage. I'm giving the number 1. It means like at a time only one, only one node will be, it will update the node version. Okay, clear, right? Now I'm giving the 1. Okay, now click the next, and here we have to select the specific subnets. Remember, whenever we creating the EKS cluster, during that time we have selected the subnets, right? Same subnets. Here it will be public. Here, if you see here we have a public subnet. Okay, but again I'm telling, in real time we won't create the particular EKS cluster and worker node in public subnets. We always create in app subnet only. But for practice purpose, right, we are creating in public subnet. Don't tell them in interview level we created EKS cluster in public subnet. Don't tell them. If we tell them right, they can easy to identify, okay, this guy only practice and trying to get the job. Okay, clear, right? Fine. Now you can see it here, configure remote access to nodes. It means, right, if you want to be access to the worker nodes, okay, you have to enable this one. It is a best practice always enabling this, because if some issue happening in the particular worker node, right, we need to log into the server, right? That's why we need to enable this one, and you can enable this EC2 keeper, and you can add it the particular dev. Currently we have dev, right? You can select that one. And here allow remote access from this particular worker nodes, right? How you want to be accessed, how you want to be give the access to them. Okay, if you select the selected security group, right, you can select the whatever you have a security group. Example, you have a dev worker node SG. SG is nothing but security group. Or else if you want to be give all traffic, you can give it. Example, I'm giving all, but in real time we won't give it. We always suggested to create a specific security group and attach it. Okay, based on whom to give the access to a specific user. Okay, now here I have selected all. Just click the next, and here you can review that all the things node group. Okay, and also you can see the Kubernetes chains, and also you can the computer scaling configuration, and also see the node group scaling. Okay, and also you can see the networking, everything you can able to see it here. Now you can create a worker nodes and attach to the EKS cluster automatically. Okay, now if you see here, it will take 10 to 15 minutes just to click this one dev cluster. Now here come down compute, and here you can see that one, the group name, decide what is the AMI, if you are using launch template or you are directly creating. Usually currently we are creating directly, but in real time we will be create a launch template and will be attached during our creation of worker nodes. Okay, now it is showing that creating. It may take 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. We have to wait for that one. We will be wait. Okay, clear, right? What will happen, right? When you create this particular node group, right? It will be create the autoscaling group. It will create the launch template. Okay, and also it will be maintaining three EC2 instance. It will be create. Okay, because we mentioned desire state is 3, right? That's why it will be create, and also it will be use this particular AMI to create that one. Okay, everything. If you click this one, right, you can see it here. What is the status? Everything. We can wait for a few seconds so that I will be explain all the steps, all the options also once we create fully. Okay, fine. Now you can see it here, right? It is created, it is active. Here we can see that specific 3 servers. It is a t2.micro, the node group, this one, and also you can see that particular when it was created, I mean, under the ready state or not. Okay, clear, right? Now we can see the step by step here. Then we can go with other things. Okay, now when you click this particular worker node group, right, you can see it here, Kubernetes version, what is the AMI type, what is the status. Okay, and also you can see the AMI release version, instance type, which type of instance we are using, t2.micro. Okay, disk size, what is the disk size. Okay, and also you can see the details section. You can see the ARN, when it was created, what is the autoscaling group. In this particular autoscaling group, it is attached, I mean, created 3 worker nodes, and minimum 2, maximum is 5. Okay, and also you can see the node IAM role ARN, and also you can see the capacity, whether it's on demand or spot instance. We selected on demand, right? And here you can see the desired, minimum, maximum, and also you can see the which subnet it is created, and whether you configured remote access or not for the particular worker nodes. Okay, and you can see the nodes. Here you can see the how many nodes we have, total 3. Health issues, if you have any health issues, right, you can see it here specifically this particular worker node group. Okay, and go to the Kubernetes labels, you can see it if you have any labels, and also update config. We selected at a time only one, right? That's why it is coming only one node. And also you can see the Kubernetes chains, and here currently we don't have any chains. That's why it is showing that 0. Okay, update history, if you done any update, right, this particular worker node, you can able to see the history here. Update ID, submission time, type, status, everything you can able to see it here. And also you can see the tags as well. In case if you want to be edit, right, edit. And here if you want to be change the desired state, minimum, maximum, and also if you want to be keep it Kubernetes chains as well, you can do that one. Everything we can do and click the save changes. Okay, now we can see that autoscaling group so that you will get some idea. Here we have autoscaling group, right? Just click this one. Now, if you see here, this particular autoscaling group is automatically created, on this particular autoscaling group, it is attached to the specific launch template. Click this launch template. Here you can see this particular launch template also, it is automatically created. Here the ID, and also you can see that what is that instance type, what is the version we are using, what is the AMI we are using, everything we can able to see it here. Okay, from this particular launch template, it is created. You may ask question how it is created, because when you are creating a worker node, right, we have given that instance type. Okay, everything we have given, right, disk size is 50 GB, everything, right, what is the key pair, everything, right, everything capturing, and it will be create a backend, and we can able to see it here. Okay, now from this particular launch template, it is created a auto scaling group, because we mentioned min maximum desired, right? For that one we required auto scaling group, right? It is automatically created the auto scaling group. Here you can see that auto scaling group particular launch template, how many instances we have, desired capacity, min capacity, maximum capacity. Okay, understand that? And also you can see that EC2 instances as well. Go to the instances. Okay, here you can see the total 3 instances. Okay, in this particular instances, right, select this one, and you can see that particular storage, everything. Okay, if you go with the storage, right, here you can see the 50 GB, that is the root value. When we create and attach to the worker node to the EKS, right? So during that time we did this one. Okay, now it is fine. Understand that? Now you can also see the networking as well, where we exactly created. Okay, and also you can see the status as well, whether it is fine or not. And also you can go with the secret group. In the secret group, right, it is created two. One is EKS cluster, HG dev cluster, and the particular number. And you can also see the remote access. Okay, if you click the remote access, right, you can see that specifically what are the permissions we have given inbound rule. Okay, if you see here inbound rule, we gave all traffic. Remember, in real time we won't give all traffic, always we will give the specific range CADR. Example, your VPC CADR range 10 series will be give like 10.0.0.0/8, so that in entire your organization team can be access this particular cluster. Okay, understand that? I mean access to the worker nodes as well. And also you can see that particular and one more this one secret group. You can see it here. What are the things here? Here also you can see that all traffic, but only within this particular same security group only. Okay, all traffic, it is within the same. It is automatically created when we attach to the worker nodes to the EC2. I mean this one EKS cluster. Okay, understand that? Now any questions now? Any questions? These are one of the most important, guys. We'll be create and attach to the EKS cluster. Okay, how many instance worker nodes we want in real time, right? Just we created only for 3, right? In real time it may contains 10, 20, 30, depends on use cases. In production it may contain 50 also, depends on how many microservices you have deployed in EKS cluster. Based on that one, we will be maintaining this particular worker nodes. And also we are using T2.micro. In real time we always use the high T2.large, medium, sometimes X lots, depends on use cases, will be use it. Okay, understand? Any questions now? One thing you have to remember, in case sometimes if you create this particular node group, right, sometimes it won't come active, it will throw the error. Okay, to joining the particular one, depends on use cases. It may contain you are not using correct AMI. Okay, if the particular AMI is not available, kubelet or some other software related to this one. If you use common Amazon Linux instead of using AWS EKS AMI, okay, during that time it won't be added to the joining the particular worker nodes to the EKS cluster. Based on that one, you have to take the decision, and you have to troubleshoot, and you have to fix that one. Okay, understand that? Next video, next I will show you like how do we connect to the EKS cluster from local, so that you will get some idea. And also you can see that worker nodes are attached or not using AWS console. And one more thing, guys, I forgot to show you. Okay, if you remember, when we create a cluster, right, we have enabled this this one logs related, right? We have enabled logs related. So those logs, where it will be stored? Those logs, it will be stored in CloudWatch. Okay, now I'm going to the CloudWatch. Go to the CloudWatch. Cluster related we have enabled, right? API, server, scheduler, everything. Now you can go to the CloudWatch, and here you can go the log group, and here you can see the specific log group. Okay. Now if you see here, this is the log group for EKS cluster, AWS EKS, the cluster name / cluster. Okay. Give this one. Here you can see all the logs related to control plane. Okay, whatever we enable key API server, we enable authenticator. Okay, we enable everything, right? You can able to see the logs here. Okay, if you click the specific one, right, you can see it. What is the happening here in backend? Everything you can able to see it here. But depends on use cases, we will be enabling it in real time. Very rare. But when it comes to the production, right, we may enable the logs, but it will be little bit charged. And one more thing, we can also reach out to EKS team so that they can verify from their end as well, because this master node is maintaining by AWS team, right? So they have their own logs, might be, they can help us. Okay, understand that? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about how to connect a EKS cluster from CLI, using CLI, either from your local. How do we do? Okay, let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. For that one, right, we already created EKS cluster. The cluster name is dev-hyphen cluster, right? Dev-hyphen cluster we have created. Now what you have to do, right? From my local, I need to connect. Remember guys, our EKS cluster in public, so I can connect directly without client VPN. But when it comes to the real time, right, all the EKS clusters are private only. So you have to connect the client VPN before connecting to the EKS cluster. Okay, fine. Now what you have to do? First, you can see the steps as well. And if you observe here, first we have to create a one user, right? The particular user, we need to generate the access key and secret key. Okay, you have to generate the access key and secret key. Now go to here, we already created a Mule user, right? Go select this one. Okay, go to the security, and here, if you see here, access keys, create access key. Okay, select the anyone, fine, select this, and I understood. Click the next and create a access key. Now you can store it this one, your local. Okay. Now you can keep it here, access key, and this is the secret key. Okay, fine. Now what you have to do, you can give it here so that you will be understand. And here you can give that access key and secret key here. Okay, understand that? Fine. Now what you have to do, first we need to configure it as a profile. Why do we require to configure profile? See, let's take an example. Currently I am connecting dev cluster. If you want to connect in QA, if you want to connect prod, okay, both are different AWS accounts, right? So for that one, right, instead of using AWS configure, if you do the AWS configure, right, existing credentials will be override, right? Instead of that one, if you use that profile concept, right, we can, when you are connecting to the EKS cluster, we can mention that particular profile name so that you can connect the specific EKS cluster. If you are not aware of like what exactly AWS profile, everything, right, please have a look over AWS IAM concept so that you will get some idea. Now what I'm doing here, right, I'm giving AWS configure, okay, -- profile. I'm giving this is a dev, right? That's why I'm giving dev, okay, and then enter. Here it is asking the access key ID. What is the access key ID? Just now we created, right? This is the access key ID. Okay, this is the access key ID. You can give it here. Okay, now just enter. Okay, now we have updated. Now we have to enter the secret access key. What is the secret access key? We have here, right? Just copy this one. Okay, and then give it. Now it is asking the region. What is the default region? If you want, you can mention it. Currently, I'm mentioning here US East -bar. Okay, and then enter. Here it is asking the default output format. I'm selecting default is JSON only. I'm just entering. It will be taking default JSON only. Okay. Now we have created one user and we have created the access key and secret key. We have configuring my local. Okay. The particular user, right? Remember one thing. The particular user, whatever we created, right? Whatever we created, right? The particular user, we have given the admin privileges. Okay. Admin privileges means I can connect to the EKS cluster. Okay. Clear, right? Now what you have to do? Now you have to use the AWS. Now you have to use this command. AWS EKS update kubeconfig -name. You have to give the cluster name. What is the cluster name? In our case is dev cluster, right? You have to give it, and then you have to give the region. If it is our case is US-East one, right? You have to give it. What is the profile name? Dev. It means whatever dev profile, right? those credentials will be used and connected to the EKS cluster. Okay, now we can see this profile as well. Go to here. Okay, go to the C drive users. It is our user. My user is Reddy. Just click this one. Okay, now you can see it here, .aws. If you go with this .aws, right, in credentials, you can see the particular whatever it mentioned, right? Edit. Okay, now we can see that one, dev. Profile name is dev. We can see the access key and secret key. Okay, and the next one is you can also see the config as well. Here you can see that specific one profile is dev. Okay, what is the reason we mentioned? We mentioned region is US East 1. Understand that whatever profile credentials we available in credentials part, it will be pick up when you call that particular profile. Okay, now what I'm doing here, right? I'm giving AWS EKS update hyphen kubeconfig hyphen name dev hyphen cluster. Okay, hyphen region. What is the region where it is? It is in US East 1, right? Not towards Virginia. That's why region is US East 1 hyphen profile. You can give the dev profile. Okay, just enter. Now, if you see here, we have connected the particular EKS cluster. It is added. This is the ARN of that particular EKS cluster. You can also verify here. Go to the EKS cluster and you can see that particular ARN as well. Okay, cluster ARN. If you see here, AWS EKS specific cluster, dev cluster, you can see the same name. Okay, and then remember when you use this EKS command, right? Inside that our user is C drive users Reddy, my username in this particular lab tab. Okay, under that it will be created one .cube directory. Under that it will be config file. Inside the config file, all the information related EKS it will be there, so that now going forward, if you are using any Kubernetes related commands, right, you can able to see it. Okay, fine. Now you can see that one config also. Go to back Reddy. Here you can see this .cube, and here you can see the config. Just open edit. Now you can see that API version, cluster certificate, whatever cluster certificate you are seeing here, right? Same certificate only. You can see it in kube config. Okay, understand it? And server, and also you can see the name, the particular ARN. Okay, and also the context, everything you can able to see it here as well. And also you can see the region specific, what is the EKS get token, everything you can able to see it here, and also which profile we use. We use the dev profile, right? Using dev profile, we connected, right? It is declared here as well. Understand that? When you use the AWS EKS, when we use the AWS EKS update kube config, it will be create the config file under .cube under the specific user, whatever your user connected. Okay, there you can see it. Now, if I use any commands related to Kubernetes, right, you can get it because I already my config file is available in my local. So if I use kubectl example, if I use kubectl get pods, okay, if I use kubectl get pods, right, if you have any pods, you can see it here. Currently, we don't have any pods, and also you can see that kubectl get nodes. Okay, usually, right, once we connected the EKS cluster, we have to use the kubectl command to see it, all the Kubernetes related things. Example, if you want to see the nodes, we have total 3 nodes, right? If you observe here, this is the node, whether it is ready or okay, you can see it here, and also you can see the roles and also age when it was created and what is the version. We can see all the things. Okay, whatever currently we have 3 because we mentioned the desire state is 3, right? If you go here, if you go to the compute, and here you can see that specifically we have 3. That's why you are seeing that only 3 here. Okay, understand that? Using this kubectl command, you can see it all the information. If you don't have this config file, right? If you're trying to get kubectl get pods and kubectl get nodes, right? It won't work. Okay, and one more thing, again, I'm telling our cluster is public. That's why I haven't connected any client VPN. Even though I haven't connected any client VPN, I'm able to get all the Kubernetes related. I mean, the particular cluster related, I'm able to get it here. But in real time, our cluster should be in private only. You have to connect either client VPN or Cisco, depends on organizations are using. Then you have to connect this particular using AWS EKS. Okay, then you can use kubectl. You have to install the kubectl. If you are not aware kubectl, right, please have a look our kubectl concept so that you will get some idea how do we install. Okay, now we can see kubectl get nodes. So now I am able to get the nodes as well. Okay, you can see the kubectl get pods. Currently, we don't have any pods. That's why you are not seeing anything. Okay, understand that this is the process of connecting to the EKS cluster from your local. Okay, even whether it is CMD, Windows or Linux, doesn't matter. The process is same only. Okay, understand that? Any questions now? Now we are going to discussing about deleting a Amazon EKS cluster. Our practice is completed, right? We need to delete it. Otherwise, what will happen? It will be charged, right? So if you are not paying the bill, right, your account will be deactivated. That's why once your practice completed, you have to delete whatever you created. For that one, right, go to that cluster. Currently, we have a dev cluster. Okay, select this particular cluster and click this one, delete. And it is asking that particular cluster name. Once you delete, right, you can't revert back. Okay, just a dev cluster, give it, and then click the delete. Now, if you see it here, if I am trying to delete this particular cluster, it is asking this particular cluster, it is attached to the worker nodes. First, delete this worker nodes, then we can delete the cluster. So for that one, right, go to the compute tab. Okay, compute tab, and then here you have to delete your node group. Okay, now first we need to delete the node group. When you delete this node group, right, it will delete launch template, autoscaling group. Okay, everything it will be deleted. Then we have to delete the EKS cluster. Delete here, and then delete cluster worker node, and then give it here dev cluster worker node. Click this delete. Now it is deleting. It may take 1 or 2 minutes to delete. And meanwhile, right, we already, CloudWatch also created and it will show the logs, right? Okay, we can go there and we can delete those logs. Okay, go to the CloudWatch. Go to the CloudWatch here. Okay, and here you can go to the log group. Okay, here we have a cloud group for the particular cluster related dev cluster. Select this one, go to the actions. Okay, delete a log group and then delete it. Okay, now it will delete all the logs as well. Okay, existing logs. Once you delete it, you can't revert back, remember. Okay, now we have deleted that, and here we have to wait for a couple of minutes to delete the worker nodes. Then we can delete the cluster. Okay, understand that? Fine. Now we can see it here, right? Node group is deleted. Now if you go and check it, auto scaling group also deleted. Okay, once we delete that node group, and also you can see that the launch template as well, it is deleted. Everything it will be deleted. Okay, now what you have to do, now we can delete the cluster as well. Go to here, just refresh this one, and then select the cluster, go to the delete, and then you can give the cluster name, dev cluster. Okay, then delete it. Now what will happen, right? This cluster will be deleted. It may take 1 or 2 minutes. You have to wait for that time. Okay, once you delete, you can't able to see it here. Okay, we can wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, it took 2 minutes to delete it. Now we have deleted. Okay, understand it? How do we delete, clean up our EKS cluster? First, we have to delete our worker nodes. Then we have to delete the EKS cluster. And also we have enabled the logs related to control plane light. For that one is created a CloudWatch. CloudWatch also we have to create, delete it. We did that one. Okay, any questions now? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram, and also we have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe there to get more updates, and also we have a techwithmurli.in.com website. You can, and if you want to be enroll any courses, you can enroll here. Use DevOps 50 coupon code to get 1 year, 50% discount for 1 year plan. This is a limited offer only. Okay. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next video.